Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how's it going, Cyndee?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good to be here again.
Today, we're going to talk about some creative ways to increase NOI.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff, but I do want to talk just a few minutes before we get into that. I want to talk about when you buy the property.
Okay.
Because sometimes I think, especially if you're new to syndication, you think, okay, we're going to buy the property. This is our business plan. We're going to
start raising rents.
We're going to raise rents. Yeah.
Misconception.
No, it doesn't work that way. And so I just want to just go over just a little bit so we have some really good clarity and why it's so important on your due diligence, because we go to the property before we buy it and we do our due diligence, is to look at the leases that are in place.
Right.
You want to go through those leases and you want to understand what are they charging for. So are they charging for pets? Do they have a pet deposit? Are they charging for trash? Are they charging for pest control? Like, what are the current leases? Because when you buy the property, you're buying those leases. Mm-hmm. And it takes a full year until you have everyone under your property management leases.
Why does it necessarily take a full year?
Because you can't raise rents. You can't just move in and put a notice on everyone's door and say, hey, we're the new ownership. And by the way, your rent's going up $50.
Right.
You can't do that because they have a lease in place. It's a legal document. It's a contract that they have with the property. You bought the property. We have to honor that contract. And so if someone moved in the month before we bought it, whatever their rent is, whatever their agreement is, that's what we have to live with until their lease is up. So if they did a 12-month lease, we have 12 months until we can change that. So it's important to understand what are they charging for whenever you buy the property. Mm-hmm. Then as you have new leases come in, so you're going to have people that are going to not renew.
Yep.
So you're going to have a new lease. So those people will be under your new property management. And then you're going to have renewals. And so renewals will be under your new property management.
We should have an episode just on resident retention.
Oh,
because that's a big topic.
That is a very big topic. And it is so important. And honestly, resident retention, if you can wrap your head around that and really make it work, saves you so much money.
Yeah, that's obviously something we're talking about right now is increasing NOI, because if you have a floodgate, if the floodgates open and people are leaving, that's a lot of turnover costs, a lot of vacancy loss.
Yes.
So definitely expenses are going up. You're not making money if there's no heads in beds.
Exactly. So I just want to make sure that people understand when they buy the property, although you have a business plan and you plan to raise rent X amount of dollars, you don't get to do that straight away.
Right.
It's going to take a year to get everyone in place.
The other thing I was just thinking of right now when you said that was, do you also want to be the new ownership that just comes in, I call it guns a-blazing. Bam, 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 like we're changing this and we're changing that. Like, whoa. Yeah. Residents' heads are going to start spinning. Like, who are you guys? You're just coming in here and slapping us with fines or slapping us with rent increases. You're actually you're doing a disservice, because now, if you think about it, like, no one really likes change, to be honest. Not many people like change.
I do not like change.
Okay. So I don't like change either, unless you somehow create a mindset thinking, but it's funny because I'll ask you this question. Did you want to be the same person you were 10 years ago, or do you want to be the same person, or do you want to be better?
I want to be better.
Exactly. That's change.
But that is change.
That is change.
I know.
It's funny how the mindset is like, I don't like change and I don't like change.
I shouldn't say that anymore.
Right. But if you think of it this way, do you want to be the same person you were 2 weeks ago, a month, a year ago? No. You want to be better.
No.
So if I almost kind of, as a property manager, I challenge my residents with the same mindset. It's like, hey, do you want to have the property the same way each and every year, where slowly but surely it's age deterioration, or do you want it to be improved? Do you want things to be better? That's exactly what I'm going to be doing here. So yes, I am new, and yes, you came to my office saying, well, don't be changing a bunch of stuff. But if you change the mindset, don't you want to be better? Don't you want this thing to be improvement? So yeah, I think it's something where you can do it incrementally.
Yes.
Come in and start, hey, welcome everybody. Start to build a culture from your office, and now they notice, wow, that everybody's standing up now, or hey, everybody knows me by name. That's very welcoming. And then when you start to hit them with the things that are going to affect their pocketbook, that's when they're more open-minded to receive it than to push it back.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why when you buy a property, if you have CapEx that's exterior, meaning, you're going to change the landscaping, or you're going to paint, or you're going to do the parking lot, you want to start doing those things as soon as possible so that the residents see, hey, this is a new ownership. Visually, they see that things are changing. That helps them with their mindset. I will tell you, we recently bought a property within the last month, and I was there at the transition, and a resident came in very upset. Now, we all know that the properties that are being sold today are distressed.
Yes.
There's a few that aren't, but the majority,
yeah.
Bridge loans, they've got to sell, it's a distressed property. And this property had really been neglected, and no maintenance had been done for months. And the residents just kind of knew it was being sold. And so they just, knew no one was taking care of them, watching out for them. So I was in the office. We had a resident come in, super upset. She came in with another resident. They were upstairs, downstairs, neighbors. And it had something to do with water. When the upstairs turned her water on, it affected the downstairs. I don't really remember the exact detail. But what I remember so clearly is the way the management handled it. When they came in, the on-site grabbed a notepad, piece of paper, and a pen as they walked in, because you could tell, they kind of, jerked the door open and came in. And, and she, said, hey, I'm Ashley. How can I help you? And they just both started talking kind of at the same time. And she's like, okay, wait a minute. Let me get your name. Tell me what unit you're in. So she writes down their name, writes down their unit. So she got that down. And she's like, okay, so what's the situation? And, they tell her what's happening. And the way she handled it, super calm, very attentive, not dismissal at all. Like, I understand your concern. We will get someone out there today to assess it.
Yep.
I don't know if we can get it fixed today because we don't know what the problem is. But if you're both going to be home, let me go ahead and radio our maintenance. And we actually brought in 2 maintenance when we bought the property, because we knew we had so much that had been deferred that we were going to have a flood of work orders. So we straight away brought in 2 maintenance guys.
Yep.
And she said, let me get a hold of him, send him over. You guys going to be home? Yes, we'll be home. Okay, well, he's going to come and look at it, and we'll see if we can get it fixed. And just her whole demeanor was so calm and just very reassuring. And I just thought to myself, okay, 2 things are going to happen out of this. A, everyone talks.
Yes.
So they're going to say, hey, we went into the office, man, she took down our names, our number. Within 10 minutes, maintenance was at, our door looking at it. And the other thing is that when that resident went to bed that night, they knew that their concerns meant something to someone.
Yeah.
It had been gone unattended for so long. And they were pretty hot when they came in, but once Ashley talked to them, they left. It was like, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And so I think it's important that when you take over a property, you let them know we're here. We're going to listen. It's instead of coming in guns a-blazing, we're raising rents.
Yes.
We can be guns a-blazing in that we're here to fix your problems.
Yeah.
We are here to listen to you. And this particular property, it's been amazing. And the other thing that they're doing at this property that I've never had a property do before is they have a Facebook page, which all the properties do. They have a Facebook page, but they do a live almost every day. So our investors can like that Facebook page.
Wow.
And they watch every day. They watch the parking lot getting cleaned. They watch the parking lot getting paved. They're watching the maintenance working. And so they're doing something every day. And so as an investor, I'm thinking this is the coolest idea ever.
Why are not more people doing that?
I don't know. Well, we are.
Yeah, I mean, but that is something where whoever's watching this, Cyndee just gave you a huge golden nugget to have your property management team do a live or do a recording showing, because at the end of the day, they want to see it. I want to see it. I'm an investor. I want to see, wow, they're really taking care of the asset and they're changing people's lives.
And they're seeing like, this is, they met, this is the on-site, this is a regional, these are the maintenance guys. We got a new sign in. Here's the new sign. And so just think about that. It went out in our first newsletter. This is a Facebook page. Please go and follow it. And I just think as an investor, what a cool thing, being able just to follow the progress, to visually see where their money's going.
Right. We're absolutely visual learners, visual entertain. Like we go to movies for a reason, right? We go to watch concerts because we want to be as close as possible to the main event. So that's a huge, like, we can't physically be in Texas at that time or Kansas City at that time or wherever you're investing, but it's one of those things like, well, I could see it. I can see all the progress that's happening. Like, they know, it's kind of checks and balances too. Like, are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? It is, but it's more of entertainment. It's more like fun. Like, yes, like all that time and effort in investing is, wow. I'm glad I'm part of this podcast because I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. So hopefully the investors will take advantage of that and just like the Facebook page, they get a live. I don't know if they'll continue to do it every day, but at least once a week. Yeah. I mean, what a great way to watch the property.
Yeah. So the main focus of today was to talk about also, how do we really truly increase NOI? Like, what are some things? There's only two things you can do. You can either make more money or decrease expenses to make more money, right? To increase NOI. So how about you kick us off? What are some things that you can think of that has helped you on your property, on your assets, that have made more money?
Well, one of the things we do when we take over a property is on renewal or a new lease, we always charge for trash, sewer, and pest. Because we know that we're going to do pest control every month. There's a couple of reasons why you do that. It's a risk management because we go into the units. We're looking, do we have hoarders? That's a fire hazard. We want to know if we have that going on. It also helps us know, do we have pets that aren't being accounted for? And then the bottom line too is we don't want cockroaches. We don't want termites. So we want the pest control to actually be done. So it serves several purposes for doing it. But we charge for that. And if it's not already in their lease, which we have noticed on the ones that we have purchased that they don't do that. So that's one of the first things we do is implement that. We also look at their pet policy because we're going to have where we're going to charge a pet deposit that's not refundable. I don't care how good a housekeeper you are. If you have a pet, after a year, that pet has caused some damage. And usually the deposit's about $250.
Okay.
And it's non-refundable. So it just helps offset our cost when we have to turn the unit.
Got it.
And then we charge pet rent. So that's, one of the ways is to increase the NOI. So we want to make sure we have those covered like in the very beginning. That's just kind of straight out of the gate. Then you just look for ways to make more money. So that's either increasing your income or decreasing your expenses. We've done a couple of properties where we offer cable. So we'll make a contract with the cable company and they actually pay us by the door because we give them the exclusive. So we sign a contract. Usually it's 5 years, which is usually the typical hold time for the property, that this is who's going to provide the cable. So they're going to give us, I don't know what they call it, but they pay us a certain amount per door for the exclusiveness. And then we also get commission on that. So whatever they're paying for, we get commission. So we make sure we can offer cable. You always want to look at your laundry.
I'll say laundry is another one.
Laundry's one that you check. Those are these are all the contracts that you're looking at before you buy the property too.
And laundry companies will actually give you an allowance to renovate, upgrade, enhance your laundry rooms.
Yes.
Because they want to make sure it is an inviting place for your residents to go to. Because if it's looks like a haunted house, no one's going to use it. So it's in their best interest, and it's in your best interest to negotiate that.
Yes.
And say, hey, we have 5 laundry rooms or whatever, however, let's say 5, right? Would your company, as you're negotiating, we're looking at different companies, would your company be interested in enhancing a beautification project for the laundry rooms?
Yes.
And then if they say, well, how much is that going to cost? And just maybe you give them an estimate. Okay, it's going to repaint, put some new baseboards or something, signage,
Right.
your signage, it'll cost this much. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. Because to them, they might be making a lot more money, right? And then of
Right.
course you still get a portion of it. So tip is ask to negotiate, see if they'll be willing to do not a loan. It's not a loan, but it's a beautification investment
Right.
into your laundry room, so you
Right.
don't have to pay it back.
And that way you don't have to do it out of your CapEx. Because quite honestly, you're going to have to clean up the laundry room.
Yeah,
Regardless, we would just rather the laundry company pay for it
Right.
than us.
and it's in their best interest because, like I said, you want to be inviting for everybody to come.
Yes.
So like, hey, you want people to go to the laundry room to use your machines. It's not you're not buying them, you're renting them most of the time.
Yes.
Or you're using it. So it's like, hey, we want to make sure that everyone in our community uses your washing machines. So to do that, we want to do that, and you can help us out. And if they don't, then again, you say you get 3 bids, go to another company and see if that other company will do it. And they might be hungry for business in that territory. Maybe they're new to that area. And we're like, hey, I'm new to this area. What do you want? Maybe you're thinking we need like 5,000. We'll give you 10,000. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yes.
We just had a student, one of our class. I think it was Paul Landman. He's the one who told us. I think it was Paul. Correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. Put in your comments. But I think he was the one who said, yeah, they were willing to pay
Yes.
something like that. So,
Yeah. So that's another way, because you're saving your CapEx
yeah.
for
Exactly.
the things that you
have
have
to
set
pay.
out to do. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So obviously we said it's 2 ways. You can increase your income, other income or rents to make money. And then also expenses. So another way you can increase your NOI is through lowering your expenses. So those could be things like energy efficient products. Maybe you're getting rid of all the bulbs. You go to LEDs or something much longer lasting, still great color. A lot of even studios that we're in today is probably using a lot more LEDs. I know a lot of city municipalities, they're all their streetlights now. There's no more fluorescent bulb. They're all LEDs now. They last a lot longer. Yeah. So a lot of cities, if you go look at the streetlights, a lot of them are LEDs. So lighting could be one. Water conservation. What are you changing with your toilets? Is it water saving toilets? Is it sprinklers systems that you're using? Are they just on all the time, late at night, and not doing? And they're running down. I've had maintenance team members who live on site. Once in a while, I'd make it maybe quarterly. They would have to work a night shift. You're probably wondering why Andrew work a night shift. They would go around the community and look at They're like little, up to my waist, I would say, like little bullets, I call it, but they're bullet lights. They're like little posts, and he would put a blue tape on all the ones that are out, all the little bullet lights that are out. So he'd tape them.
Oh.
So now it's a safety measure. So when they're walking around, if there's a step there and there's a light there and it's out, how is the resident going to see that?
Yes.
So he would put a blue painter's tape on that one and say, hey, tomorrow when the guys come in, they know they need to replace that light.
Yeah.
And so I made him go around there and look at that. He would see if there's any sprinkler heads because we usually do our sprinklers at night. So I know Arizona is different because it's so hot. You probably have to run them multiple times or flooding.
No, we do them at night.
Yeah, you do them at night.
If we do it during the day, it evaporates.
Yes, exactly. So we would have them check the sprinkler heads at night because sometimes they're just geysering. They're just broken.
Yes.
And so they're just shooting up in the air. So he would put like a little flag there and say, hey, this one's broken. And I'd identify, write it down. So between lighting, flood control or water conservation, the toilets inside, we also do preventative maintenance. So I'm actually doing that right now in my own company, where all of my units, we're going inside the units and we're opening underneath the sinks to see if there's any leaks, see if the toilets are running. Because like you said, some of your properties are all inclusive, like all the bills are paid.
Right.
So especially those, more so than anything, because if the utilities are in my name, then I may let it go, but it's not affecting your numbers as much because it's under my name. But especially if it's all utilities paid, you really want to watch that. We talked about Thermostats, smart thermostats. So that's another way you could do it. So we got lighting, we got water, we got smart thermostats. The maintenance team with the preventative maintenance can check on that. Contracts, reviewing your contracts. So I know a lot of you, but we use Billy's Plumbing. We've always used Billy's Plumbing for years. I understand, but if Billy's Plumbing has gotten comfortable and knows that you've only used them, sometimes Billy needs to send his kids to Ivy League schools, and so he might need to raise his prices a little bit. So you want to keep that a competitive advantage. Like, hey, Billy, we still want to use you, but we aren't. Your pricing has since doubled, right? We got to check somewhere else. So check all your contracts, whether that's landscaping. Check your other vendor contracts, Home Depot or whoever you use for your supplies for your
pest control.
Pest control is another one. So we said landscaping, Home Depot, pest control. What's another one?
Usually you have your laundry contract.
Your laundry contract. So all of those are just a couple of the ones that you want to review contracts wise, like other reoccurring services is what we call it, recurring. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I mean, obviously.
Well, we're always watching too for programs that are available either through the city or the state or through the federal government that we can use that will help cut expenses at the property. Yeah.
So either going to cut expenses or they're going to pay you through programs, grant programs or something. Say, hey, if you do all of this, water heaters.
Yes.
That's another thing. If you do this, we'll give you this much money. We'll contribute to it. So I know there's a few of people that are in our multifamily industry that love this stuff. So I definitely recommend reaching out to those individuals who are interested in grant programs, green services, things of that nature. Look at your turn services. When's the last time you looked at your average turnover costs? Because maybe you're spending so much on the turn when you really don't have to.
Right.
And maybe you're not billing back the residents appropriately. And so now you're incurring all of those expenses when you really should be billing them back for, let's say it's a carpet replacement and the carpet's only 1 year old, 2 year old, and you're just eating all the costs. Well, you should be like, hey, you only lived here for 1 year. The lifespan is 5 years. So I now need to charge you for 4 years. Right. So I get my money for that. It's like, hey, and if you go to court, trust me, the judge will say, yeah, they didn't get the lifespan of the full carpet. So those are those little things that we can go on and on about how we can either make more money, you can cut costs, but ultimately that's how you increase your NOI.
And part of it is just watching for those programs.
Yep.
Because I know one of our properties, if you spend X amount of dollars, beautifying the property, the exterior, they would put a 5-year hold on your taxes.
Wow.
When I say I don't mean you still have to pay the real estate tax, but it won't increase. So you keep the same rate for the 5 years.
Nice.
So we did that on the property because we totally, hit that mark.
Yep.
And so that saves us money. And we know that our real estate taxes are not going to go up for 5 years.
Yeah. That's why it's so good to reach out to your local municipality, Chamber of Commerce, local businesses. You never know. You'll find, hey, we're offering credits on this, or you're going to do a hardscape versus doing lush landscaping. That's a big change.
Yes.
Right? How you bill your residents, because sometimes let's say you're only charging your residents a small amount when they should be paying a larger amount or whatever that is. So if you're changing your lush landscaping that has all these beautiful green grass and everything, but now you go to a hardscape, you're not using all that water anymore. Right. And then I know of a city locally to me that was offering credits like, hey, if you do this, pull the permits. We see kind of like a lender. We see that you're doing the CapEx projects. We'll give you money. We'll give you money. We'll give you money. Yep. So that's pretty cool too.
That's another way to increase your NOI.
Yeah.
Those are some very creative ways.
Yeah.
But it does require research and time.
Yep.
So we do rely on the property management company to do a lot of things. But to me, that would be a responsibility of the asset manager and the asset management team.
Yep.
That you could ask someone to do that, where they can do some research for you. So,
yeah, pull all of the information. I mean, you get one mind is great, but if you get 2, 3, 4, 5,
exactly.
Now you come together at a big table and say, hey, I thought of this. Oh, great. Now you're getting 5 different increases versus just the one increase.
Yes. And you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No. exactly. So,
Well,
good
thanks
stuff.
so much. I
Yeah, this is
appreciate
good.
it.
Appreciate
Yes.
you as well. So
Yeah.
we'll see you next time in our next episode. Take care.
See you in class.